not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be forced to be brought to the revolution has to be because of the people and leading the charge by John Mitchell.
Thank you guys all for coming to help us celebrate the grand reopening of Parker Community School, which we've taken for the people and by the people. Not only are you guys here helping us celebrate, but you're here helping us ensure the future of our community and the future of this building. I'm a parent of 2 children that go here to Parker K through 8. Now, back in February, when we got the news that this school was listed for closure, me and all of the other parents were devastated, confused, didn't quite know what to do. 2 other schools were listed for immediate closure this year as well. One of them is La Escuelita. It's a bilingual school that offers special instruction in English and Spanish. And the other one that's here in our neighborhood in this district is Community Day. It's a last chance high school for our high schoolers who may have been expelled from other district schools. These were 3 schools, our most at-risk schools in our district, in our city, and they were closed so suddenly because OUSD kind of figured that people wouldn't fight back. They knew that this was a bunch of single mothers dropping their kids off at school and we all got 2-3 jobs, wouldn't have time to fight back. But I guess they were wrong because we're here today. So I'll talk a little bit about the summer program that we got going. It's gonna be from Monday to Friday. We'll have free breakfast, free lunch, childcare. We'll offer classes like farm to table, which is gardening and sustainable meals. That's Monday and Wednesday. We'll be offering lunch and free play. We'll be offering STEM science project classes. We'll be offering chess class. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be offering art class. We'll be offering double Dutch. We'll be offering learn to roll roller skating class and a people power adult education class. We also hope to be offering some ESL classes for our Latino community. So a lot of people need to learn how to speak English. We need to learn how to register to vote. So we're gonna have voting registration here. Mind you, all of this district is not providing us with none of these. All of our classes are gonna be taught by community members and by teachers who took a stand. It's gonna be taught by students. We're taking the community members that we have and we're using our own skills to teach ourselves and to move ourselves forward.
You can help with security, you can help teach over this summer, you can help with childcare or food donation.
All right, yeah, so we got our food ready. We have She Brew Soul Food Catering in the house. Give it up for She Food.
I am here standing in solidarity with the Parker community, as well as the rest of the communities that are gonna face closures next year. What we're doing right now is healing the community. OUSD is selling a front of that they're full service community schools, which they're not. This is how you start. This is what transparency looks like. We want them to look at us as a mock of what they should be demonstrating to us. We want them to know that we're here to serve the community. And when you say that you want every student to thrive, you don't leave people behind. We have to fight for our kids until they can fight for themselves. An injury to one is an injury to all. And until we understand that, we won't be anywhere. And so we're starting here with healing. You gotta be the change you wanna see. And in order to see it, you gotta be able to take the step and initiative to do it. We're not asking you to come out every day. We have shifts that you can sign up for that we would need you to support us with.
And this is the Parker Liberation Demands. Demand number 1, we demand that OUSD board reverse its decision to close or truncate schools in 2021-22 and for next school year 22-23. Now that we have $67 million in new funding should certainly ease the alleged crisis.
Yeah!
Demand number 2 is that we demand that school closures and consolidations be removed entirely from OUSD's approach to fiscal management.
Demand number 3, we demand that OUSD board repair the consequences of their decision to close and truncate schools in 21-22 and 22-23, specifically school site enrollment and funding. Students at schools that were closed, as well as those at receiving schools, must receive additional support in the form of counseling and mental health services. We demand that schools suffering from lower enrollment in 22-23 due to OUSD's announcing their pending closure be fully funded at historical levels, and that OUSD make additional efforts to drive enrollment at these school sites. Unless and until these demands are met, the Parker Liberation will continue to provide services and support to the community that OUSD is abandoning. And that's all of you and everyone in this neighborhood. If you text to 81010 and then you text @SaveParker, you'll be on the text alerts of anything happening. So if there is something that happens during the day, you'll get those alerts. Okay?
Guided by teeth goes this country. There's a cow's mouth on the flag. A peculiar notepad holds street life dear, but the writer's not here. He's somewhere talking to tombstones about the good old days of splashing reborn water on his latest face, or wondering how his old gun doing in the afterlife. Wondering how much death trap is in those gas station hours. It gotta be $1 million a day on this concrete island. New engine in the moon, why it never goes down. 72 straight hours of night, at least according to everyone's posture around here. 8:30 in the morning is really 30 minutes of closing. The city shuts down for a sleepy rat race, elevator shoe shuffle to the nearest heaven, laughing with rats the whole way up, there's scabs everywhere, in puddles of city, in concentrated schools, and TV lit warm rooms. The light reveals military fatigue when it hits just right on the ties that are wrapped around the necks of lazy white guys. Empire is too easy, baby. Chant at the walls all summer if you feel like it. Let's wait for a target to move and shooting back, running for a tree line made of freeways. Wisdom says against a war machine on Tuesday, you stand no chance. But may we be the last poor people to play it safe. Cow's mouth on the flag, a politician raises his hand, and the crowd shows their teeth. An oligarch raises his hand, and little kids are not safe outside. You all hide, depressed, and comrades in function. 15 minutes of closing in the city and survived another black rebellion. We just paying dues by trash fires, not just anybody can say. Hey, don't you love how deadly things whisper in the moment and people kill like feathers fall while everybody's screaming inside? The writer knows that death is not a matter of dignity, rather human. In a house that smells like roach races, nuclear percentages on torn stoves. I mean, here life never was. You know, I usually don't, I usually just say poems and walk away, you know, but I just want to say real quick, yeah, we tired, but we not, right? That's right. Because we not gonna turn down any opportunity to raise our kids in an act of resistance, to raise our kids in an act of self-determination, right? And for ourselves to live and transform ourselves in an act of resistance, in an act of self-determination, and say that, nah, we can put together just as much reality as any bourgeoisie, any ruling class, any pig, right? So that's what we're doing here, and that's what we need you all to keep coming back to. That's all we got going on here is just self-determination, okay? So I appreciate y'all time, and I hope to see all of you back over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then, you know, and then once we done with this, we can figure out what else they need to just give here. You know what I mean?
Que yo sueño con ancestros me guían. And I promise you, when I dream, it's always with my people. They lead me. La memoria negra lleva la carga que pesa y pesa. In the black memory, we hold a big load and it's heavy, it's heavy. Líquida en mis movimientos, viento suave. No se sube si no te visto en mi nave. Líquida como los ríos corriendo, potente y siempre tremendo. Líquida, no se puede controlarme. No se pase conmigo sin decir la clave. Líquida como la mar tan profunda. si no fluyas, puede ser que te hunda. So this ain't no time to retreat. Maybe now it's time to bust it wide open. Cause a commotion, make waves like you came from the ocean. They want the potion, but they'll never get a taste of me. Bomb snacks, you can buy it, but you'll never get the recipe.
I got started organizing in Oakland when I was going to Berkeley City College and Laney College, and they were sending down some historical cuts to community colleges, and the students got active, man. It was a day called March the 4th, where we had this day of action where they started taking over freeways. We started having statewide conferences up and down the state of California, and the next year, Jerry Brown gave $6 billion back to California community colleges. So I was like, okay, like, the people won, you feel me? So they just got $66 million in community schools grant money. Some of the schools that they applied for that 5-year grant, they're closing those schools next year. You know, if any of us do that, if we apply for a grant and we don't use the money how we say we're gonna use it, we would be in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? So I say they criminals, you know? And so if they don't want to reopen it, if they don't want to fully fund it, then we're telling them to give us the property because it's our property. It's our school. It's our land. Y'all are just representatives of the people that live here. So if you're not going to do what's right, then step out the way and give us the property and watch how we do it. Look at it now. Look at it. They would rather this school be closed and empty, and they'll be in their little closed offices talking about what they're going to do with it. We got it open. We got food out here. We got kids. We talking about creating a better world. So, like, if you can't open it, if you can't fund it, then we don't need y'all. Starting on Monday, we're going to have chess classes, gardening classes, STEM classes, and anything that y'all got, any skills that y'all have out there, please, please come. And while they dreaming, we awake trying to make us a meal, and we ain't stopping till we get it, but they want us to chill. White man like a drill, every dilly gon' screw. Start collecting all the money, then he do us like two. They call the rooters out the garden, but we fresh as the lady. Look, I'm eating like a fat boy, you haters are sick. And plenty bees kill our seeds every 23 hours. Take our enemies for justice, yo, we looking like cows. Put up power and respect, cause it's freedom or death. We want reparations now because they owe us a debt. Work this up, but don't forget, used to hang us from trees. So you murder your own brothers, know you're real in the and you're free when they shoot you with your hands in the air. I say it's time to shoot back, show them really what's there. We got the right to bear arms, we finna exercise that. And once the giant stands up, I guarantee it's a wrap. Come on, reach for the sky. They try to hold us down, but we're going to rise. Reach. And yeah, sign up, man. I'll be here till like 2 in the morning, till I get tired. I come during the daytime. There's a lot of like dope people that come through this liberation. I'm excited. I'm hella excited because this is the people taking self-determination in our own hand. We're not asking for nothing. So I'm with that. So I appreciate y'all.
My fuck the police runs deep. It's more than just not seeing cops on High Street. I don't want to see no more youth thrown down on concrete. Let's start a real movement. All the people do is tweet and then it repeats. I don't see the crime. I see someone looking for something to eat. Their hair ain't that neat and they don't have shoes on their feet, but they don't deserve to get beat. The system isn't broken. It all started when the land was stolen and we started listening to a man with a malicious plan. We still living on the same plate. All I see around me is hate. Y'all make me believe my existence isn't great because I ain't straight and I don't listen to your faith. In the name of God, this was a slave state. Wait. You asked me how this relates. Like if white privilege is really that hard to locate. Let me code switch. Hopefully this officer hears my voice, not see my skin. They be quick to discriminate, find a way to incriminate, put them in a cell that smells. They basically living in hell because if you don't got the money to get out, I guess farewell. The real criminals are those billionaires. Yeah, the ones that don't want us to have health care. And when a problem happens, all they send is prayers. Lack of knowledge to understand that soon we won't have fresh air. I want a revolution. Now that's the real solution. Like that, we will get the same distribution of basic human needs. I blame greed. They brainwash you to believe that your hard work will make you succeed. Wow, you naive. What are you trying to achieve? I was working towards a degree, but I guess my hard work isn't something they see. And now you think you better than me because your daddy paid for your PhD. You out here trying to claim you care. You want to be oppressed so bad. Just give indigenous people back their land. your best friend that decides to wear that badge.
The fact that private property is a settler colonial lie. We have to decolonize our minds from this idea that I got mines. Because that piece is an absolute colonial lie. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a poverty scholar. That houseless mama, that houseless daughter, all those people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. What's he gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, I rocked my jailhouse attire because me and my poor mama did jail time, Santa Rita, 3 months, for the poverty crime of being houseless in this occupied indigenous holler. Melanin challenged daughter of a strong Afro-Boricua mama, for without whom there would be no me, a mama soltera and a welfare queen. So I want to lift up this liberation that's happening right now in this poor people's school, where teachers and mamas and daddies and uncles and tias actually cared about their babies and still do. I want to lift up these beautiful babies who are taking this back and recognizing that you are all the first teachers. You are all teachers. And we've been told the colonial terror that you can only become a teacher if you have a piece of paper from a eugenicist institution. You are all teachers, and our ancestors are teaching.
Perfection is a construct that we want to embody, to maintain the construct, but that lives in nobody, and that's what makes us perfect. Sometimes it gets confusing, but as long as I'm on that path, I'ma get to musing. As long as I let the fear pass, I am never losing. Gaining knowledge, put it in a stash so later I can use it. Melt them into word hammers, tracks I get to bruising. Let them know how dope I am, like the brother from Houston. Let them know how dope I am, like my flows is narcotics. I've been stuck on all these words like I was hooked on phonics. I guess that's why sometimes it's tough to see beyond this. Learning to see the actions, not the words that define them. Making peace with his mistakes, he don't let it define him.
And I believe that in order to have any kind of reclamation grounded in community, we need to recognize Indigenous people's right to this land. So sending love to Sigorte Land Trust, who came out and met with us yesterday. I don't know if you're all aware, but Sigorte Land Trust started because of an encampment when the city of Vallejo was trying to build a park over an Indigenous burial ground, and they held the land, they held the bulldozers off for like over 100 days. So there are folks that have been, reclaiming, decolonizing this land for a long time. We all need to work in solidarity with each other. Because capitalism and colonialism work hand in hand. And shout out to the teachers who have been consistently holding this down. Shout out to the teachers. Because the school board is trying to pit teachers and community against each other. But teachers are community, and community are teachers. And any other argument is political propaganda that aims to pit the needs of the workers as the reasons that our communities are underfunded, when we know that our communities are underfunded because we live in a city that throws money at policing, police department. Right.
If you remember one thing from today, my dear friends, remember this: revolutionary optimism. It's the understanding that there are years where weeks happen and weeks where years happen. The understanding that working class and low income people have changed the course of history, and we will do so again. We can wipe away this hopelessness and despair from life under capitalism and build a better life for everyone and everything on this planet through socialism. We need to understand the lessons that we learned here at Parker, and we need to come together and protect ourselves as a community so things like what we have accomplished here at Parker aren't wiped away. But until then, until we have that world where the needs of the people and the earth are the highest priority, la lucha continúa, the struggle continues.